Hello everyone, my name is Kevin and welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for the WWE Elimination Chamber 2019 review, and my god, this may be my very favorite Elimination Chamber pay-per-view of all time. And that's saying something, because the first Chamber pay-per-view of all time, when Edge lost the WWE Championship at the start of the night and won the World Heavyweight at the end of the night, still holds a special place in my heart. It's still one of my favorite Chamber matches of all time. However, I think this one passed it for the simple reason of two matches. The Women's Chamber and the Men's Chamber. Now, arguably, the rest of the matches were also very, very amazing. I think this is probably one of my favorite pay-per-views the main roster has put on in the last year and a half. And I definitely think that it was really good. It was a really good pay-per-view, surprisingly. Do I think Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman should have still been off of this, or at least on the pre-show? Yes. While it was a better match, it was a better match than I expected it to be, but it wasn't as good as it probably shouldn't have still been on the main card. But I digress. Cruiserweight match was amazing. Intercontinental, WWE. Raw Women's was probably the only real downside, and we'll get to that. So, without further ado, let's get into it with match number one, the Cruiserweight Championship match between the champion, Buddy Murphy, and the challenger, Akira Tozawa. Now, something they said pissed me off. Direct quote, and I believe it was from Vic Joseph: "If Tozawa wins, he will be the first two-time Cruiserweight champion of the modern era." Really? Huh. You see, I remember a certain king having two championship reigns with that championship. See how it is? You just gonna snap my boy Neville out of existence? Fuck WWE. You can fake it all you want, but we know the truth. Neville, first two-time Cruiserweight champion of the modern era. Don't ever forget it. Which is kind of bullshit, because a lot of people who are no longer with the company, all they were, like CM Punk. So, before this pay-per-view, WWE showed a graphic thing on their Instagram, and I believe their Twitter, showing people who have won from the number 1 and number 6 spots, respectively, in the Elimination Chamber matches. And in the number 1, CM Punk was there. There were 3 people who won from the number 1, and 6 people who won from the number 6. CM Punk was mentioned in that. So I'm like, so you guys have a stat for CM Punk there, but you take Neville's stat out, something Neville accomplished, something Neville worked his ass off to do, and you just, you know what I mean? You just get rid of it. My thing is not tight right now, so my phone's like really wobbly, and I don't like that. There we go. Much nicer. Which pisses me off. And no wonder why Neville is pissed at this company. Like, come on. Alright. Murphy's hurting. His hand got really hurt. There's a lot of fast-paced action from Tozawa. A suicide dive gets caught into a suplex by Buddy Murphy. FYI, I'm doing a lot less of the in-depth reviews. I think that's kind of where I lost the desire to do this, is I was doing the very in-depth reviews, and they were just kind of getting very bogged down. So I'm going to go for more fast-paced, kind of quick-fire, big moment sort of stuff. Control was going back and forth. Tozawa goes up for a senton, but Murphy stops him. A powerbomb up top gets reversed into a Hurricane Rana by Tozawa for a 2 count. A crossbody gets caught. Murphy's law gets reversed. Gets caught again by knees suplex for a 2 count. Back and forth chops, a German suplex, and a 2 count after a beautiful fast-paced sequence. And let me just say, I love the style of German suplexes that Tozawa and also Chad Gable do, where it's not Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe style, where it's like, boom, tossing you over their head with no issue. It's actually having the struggle and the, taking the minute and the time to actually powerbomb you, or to suplex you. And I love that version of the German suplex. It's probably my favorite way to see the German suplex happen, where it's not just, oh, I'm a big manly man, ha ha ha, and boom, German suplex. It's, okay, gotta center myself and then do it. And it's really cool, especially when they bridge. It looks amazing. So yeah, inverted Hurricane Rana for and then suicide dive. Another. Tozawa's in control, goes up for the senton. Murphy's kind of like hanging on the ropes, and he gets a senton to the back. 2 count. Tozawa gets caught with a jumping knee. Murphy's Law gets reversed into a roll-up, transitions to an octopus stretch. Murphy gets him up, hits Murphy's Law, 3 count. Buddy Murphy retains, 1-0 on predictions, 10 out of 10. It's been a solid 4 months since Buddy Murphy won the Cruiserweight Championship. I don't think he's losing it anytime soon. Not sure who they're going to put him against at Fastlane because it seems like they're trying to set up Nice and him for Mania, which is the only thing I can assume is that they're going to set up Nice and him for Mania, which would fit the best. I would really like to see... Oh, fuck, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. Damn it. Can't remember his name. But at Fastlane, I'd really like to see a new challenger come up against him. Oh, Mark Andrews. I'd really like to see Mark Andrews go against Buddy Murphy for the championship at Fastlane. I think that'd be really cool. Mark Andrews is fantastic in the ring. We haven't really seen him go for the Cruiserweight Championship. He's more focused on NXT UK at the moment, but I think him versus Buddy Murphy at Fastlane would be really cool. Murphy retains, but Mark Andrews gets to show a very good showing and a very strong showing in the match. And then he goes on to Mania, faces Nice. And honestly, it could go either way at Mania. I like Tony Nice. I like Buddy Murphy. If Murphy retains, he retains. If he loses it, he's losing it to a good competitor. So yeah. Next, match number 2, the opener of the main show, the actual show, not the pre-show. The Women's Tag Team Elimination Chamber match. I did not expect this to go on first. Honestly, I was expecting this to go on later in the night. But it was a good start to the actual pay-per-view. Obviously, the competitors in this are the Iconics, Nia Jax and Tamina, the Riot Squad, Sasha Banks and Bayley, Carmella and Naomi, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. Sasha and Bayley, Rose, and Deville starting it. We already kind of knew that from the last Raw and SmackDown. Lots of teamwork by Banks and Bayley. Deville and Rose are in control. They have some issues with the side of the chamber, getting kind of caught in it and stuff. The Riot Squad in at number 3, and they go straight after Banks and Bayley. Then they start going after Deville and Rose. Again, I think it would have been cool if the Riot Squad and them had started it because of the situation of when they both debuted as Absolution and the Riot Squad, they kind of got compared to each other a lot, which I thought was really funny. And I think it would have been cool had they started that, but still. Bayley takes down everyone. Rose and Deville go to Superplex her. Riot Squad join in, and it does the cool powerbomb Superplex combo. The Iconics come in at number 4 and go for pins on everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. They try to pin Sasha, Bayley, Mandy, Sonya, Liv, and Sarah to no avail. No 3 counts. Tandem offense by the Iconics. Sasha breaks up a pin on Bayley. The Iconics are in control, destroying Sasha and Bayley, and then Rose and Deville. Naomi and Mella come out at number 5 and go straight after the Iconics, attacking the other 4 teams in the corners. It was really cool. The other 4 teams were, the other 4 teams were like in the corners each. So it was the Iconics in one corner, Rose and Deville in the other, the Riot Squad in another, and Banks and Bayley in the last, all kind of sitting into each other. And then they just went and did like Bronco Buster style things, you know, where like they jump in and then they go, kind of like what, almost kind of like the double knees that Andrade Cien almost does, kind of like a thing X Factor used to do. It's really cool. It was a really cool moment. It was a really cool spot. This is why I love chamber matches, because they have spot after spot after spot after spot, and me being a spot monkey, I really enjoy it. Billie Kay gets sent in the chamber in the side of the chamber by Carmella. Lots of power moves. Every time one person takes someone down, another comes in and takes them down. It was a really cool setup of spots. It was like Naomi would take someone down, and then someone would take her down, and then someone would take that person down, and continues. And like for the entirety of all 5 teams, that's what happened. And it was a really cool moment. I really liked it. Naomi hits the rear view. The Iconics roll her up after. Kind of both of them doing it, which was really cool. It was like, I don't remember who rolled her up initially. I think it was Billie Kay or Peyton Royce who rolled her up initially. And then Billie Kay joined in and held her legs down and kind of like sat there. It was a really cool thing because you don't see a lot of tag teams go for like a double pin nowadays. And I thought it was really cool. Carmella and Naomi are the first team eliminated from the chamber. The Iconics pose after. Everyone else kind of looks like they're about to gang up on them, but then the timer starts clicking down. Nia and Tamina come in at number 6. The Iconics go hide in the pod as the other teams go after Nia and Tamina. They take down everyone, and Tamina and Nia go to the pod to get to the Iconics. The pod gets opened. Samoan drops. The Iconics are gone. Direct quote from Michael Cole. Now realize, Michael Cole has been doing this for 2 decades. Okay? He's been doing this job for 2 fucking decades. Double Samoan drop. Covered by Naomi and Tamina. 20 fucking years, Michael. 20 fucking years. Now, Vic Joseph, Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, Nigel McGuinness. Those people, I could potentially expect a commentator slip up every now and then. They're not very versed in it. They haven't been commentating as long as Michael, but 20 fucking years he's been doing this job. You know, like 20 plus years he's been in this business as a backstage interviewer or as a commentator, and he still fucks up that bad. Damn it, Maggle. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. The Riot Squad going after Nia and Tamina. Everyone should be going after Nia and Tamina, but nope, fighting each other because they're fucking stupid. This happens every chamber. You see a big person / big people that are in the chamber match, and everyone goes after them for like half a second before then turning on each other. You saw it last year in the Elimination Chamber for the number 1 contender to the Universal Championship, where everyone went after Braun Strowman for like half a second and then started turning on each other. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Fight him. Kill him. Beat the shit out of Braun Strowman. Get rid of the big guy, then focus on each other. They didn't do this. They never do this, and I always find it really fucking stupid that they do this. Like, you make people look stupid because they don't go after the biggest dog in the fight. In the Royal Rumble, everyone goes to eliminate the biggest people, right? Everyone at the same time teams up to eliminate the biggest people after the biggest people go on a fucking rampage and eliminate like 6 people in a row. Okay? Why do they not do that with the chamber? God. Sorry. Fuck off. I hate when I get a call while I'm trying to record. Double knees through Mandy, Sonya and Mandy. Nia and Tamina destroying the teams again. Riot Squad go up on top of one of the pods, dive into Mandy and Nia and Sonya and Tamina. Liv basically did a crossbody to Mandy and Nia, and Sarah did one to Sonya and Tamina. It was a really cool moment. Again, like I said, chamber matches are spot after spot after spot after spot in fast pace. Super Samoan drop gets hit, splash by Tamina. The Riot Squad covers both, and they are gone. Bayley and Sasha go after Nia and Tamina. Nia throws Sasha onto Mandy and Sonya, tosses Bayley onto the outside. Nia lines up to attack Bayley, to slam her through the pod. And now you see this spot a lot, especially with Nia, because she's a bit stupid. Where Bayley sidesteps, Nia goes crashing through the plexiglass, and Tamina stood there, made a facial expression. She's like, oh fuck, I'm screwed. All 4 women focused on Tamina. Meteora, elbow drop from Bayley. All 4 women cover. Tamina and Nia are gone. Thank the Lord they're not winning this match. Backstabber, Bayley to belly. Rose breaks it up at 2. Sasha and Bayley set up something big up top with Rose, but Sonya stops it, slams Bayley into the pod. They kind of do the same thing they had happen last year, where Sasha and Bayley were up on top of the pod and Sasha shoved her down. They had that kind of same thing. Corey's like, oh my god, she's going to do it. Sasha's going to try, but it was really stupid. Obviously, she wasn't going to turn on her. It was kind of really stupid that they even brought it up and said, oh, we're going to have a repeat of last year? No, you fucking idiot. Of course we're not. This is a tag team match. Sasha losing it on Deville and Rose. Rose slams her to the pod, hits her finisher. Banks kicks out. Sonya accidentally spears Mandy. Sasha goes to lock the Banks statement in, and she can't really get it because of her injured shoulder. So she uses her left leg, and it's a really weird positioning. Sonya taps. Sasha and Bayley are the first ever Raw or women's tag team champions. 1-1 on predictions. 20 out of 10. It was a good match. They had a really weird promo, like interview thing in the ring after, and it was really awkward because like they kind of didn't say anything, and then they kind of bumped over their words a bit. It was weird. Yeah. Next, the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match. The best tag team in the world, the co-besties, Miz, Shane McMahon, and The Miz versus the Usos. I predicted the best tag team in the world. Maurice and The Miz announced they are having another baby, and I cannot congratulate them enough. Good job. Good job, Miz. You still got it. No. He dedicates the match to Monroe, his dad, Maurice, and his new unborn baby. Don't dedicate matches, guys. Just don't. Shane goes for a quick coast-to-coast when he gets tagged in, and it's a lot of fast-paced action. He goes really fast. Jimmy stops him. Shane goes fast and furious ever since he got in, like I said. Usos in control over Miz, keeping Miz isolated, taunting Shane. Shane gets tagged in, unloads on the Usos, sets both of them up for a coast-to-coast, hits it on Jimmy, goes for the one on Jay, but gets caught with a beautiful super kick. Splash, Miz breaks it up. Miz gets caught with Samoan drop. Bit too much momentum from him. Hip attack gets missed. Snap DDT for a 2 count. Drop kick through the ropes. Sets up on the announce table. Jimmy accidentally suicide dives into Jay. Jay gets set up on the table. Miz starts heading up top. Elbow to Jay through the table. Miz checks on Shane to make sure he's okay. Both Jay and Shane are not really moving. A few roll-ups. Skull crushing finale gets reversed. Super kick. Splash to the knees. Miz rolls up. 2 count. Skull crusher finale. Jimmy rolls him over. 3 count. The Usos win. 1 and 2 on predictions. 8 out of 10. It was a really good match. And then the finish happened. And it disappointed me. Miz does go to check on Shane after. Helps him up. And they walk off together. And he's kind of apologizing to him. I didn't expect this. It's much in the same situation as when Jay got arrested. And everyone was expecting the Usos to lose the championships because of it. And then they retained. Shockingly, they retained the titles. And no one expected that. It was the same situation. And Jimmy even got the pin. And it was... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I love the Usos. You know? But it was weird. It felt weird to have the Usos win this match. One, because of what we saw, you know, because of what happened to Jimmy on Wednesday. And 2, I just didn't, I don't know. It just felt weird because of the way it ended. I would have liked it had Jimmy gotten in like Tequila Sunrise or hit a super kick or something, but yeah, the finish really dropped the match down for me. Next, we have the Intercontinental Championship Handicap match, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush versus Finn Balor. Predicted Lashley and technically Rush. Let me just say, I'm never a huge fan of singles titles being defended in handicap matches. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Lio starts it and immediately tags in Lashley. Lashley is in control over Balor. Lio stops Balor from going for the suicide dive. Balor is being dominated by Lashley. Rush gets tagged in. Lashley in, keeping things slow. Lio goes very fast as he gets in before tagging Lashley back in. Lio blind tags Lashley, telling him, I've got this. He misses his splash. Rush is down. Sling blade to Lashley. Sends him down to the ringside. Suicide dive to both men. Corner drop kick. Coup de grace. Balor wins. New Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. 1 and 3 on predictions. 8 out of 10. Again, this match was really good, but I don't like this kind of issue. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like this kind of issue where it's a handicap match and somebody loses the championship. Like triple threats, Fatal 4s, I get that. But handicap matches, singles titles, not the best. I'm glad that Finn won. I love Finn. I think he deserves this. But still. Balor leaves to avoid Lashley because Lashley is irate. Lashley turns on Lio, blaming him for the loss. Kind of chokes him a bit, but then, you know, picks him back up. He says, let's go. And then he slams him down and walks away. So, Lio is kind of done with Bobby, it seems. Or Bobby's done with Lio, I should say. Okay? I don't like this because Bobby needs someone to talk for him because he's not very good on the mic. He's not very charismatic. And he doesn't sound very intimidating. Having Lio Rush as his mouthpiece was really good because then we didn't have to deal with Bobby talking. Now it seems like they're maybe setting up for a feud with those two, which I don't really give a shit about. Match number 5, the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. Predicted Ronda Rousey. Charlotte comes out. I'm not sure why, but okay. She has an interview in the ring. Ruby Riott stays out of the ring, frustrating Ronda when she comes down. Armbar, Riott taps, Ronda retains, 2 and 3 on predictions, 6 out of 10. I like the Sonya blade gear Ronda had on though. It was really cool. But it was a really stupid match. Ruby Riott deserves so much better. She's fantastic in the ring. She's fantastic on the mic. And it just seems like the company doesn't want to pull the trigger with her and a championship run, which bugs me because think about it this way. The Riott Squad get the Raw or the Women's Tag Team Championships, and then Ruby gets the Raw Women's Championship. We don't have enough stables on the main roster where you can have that sort of situation happen, okay? This is something I really like. But, I don't know. It just, in my opinion, it was really stupid. Becky comes out on crutches, attacks Charlotte with a crutch, and Ronda just stands and watches her. She gives a crutch to Ronda, offers Charlotte up, and then she loads on Ronda. Security took forever to get there, which was really weird. Someone mentioned on Instagram about her leg, saying, oh, she fakes, acts like she's hurt afterwards. Dude, do you not know what adrenaline is? I've seen people do some crazy shit when they're hyped up from adrenaline and they have a bunch of fucking energy and insane fucking stuff going through their body like that. I've seen some crazy shit happen. People can get shot and not even realize it because of the adrenaline being released into their bloodstream, the endorphins. That happens a lot. I've done the same thing. I've had adrenaline while having a hurt foot and stood on my foot without realizing it, and then after I was like, fuck, my foot is killing me now because I was standing on my foot for so long when it was hurt. That's what happens. That's the same sort of thing that can happen. So yeah, that explains that. Ronda got busted open. It was awesome, and her gear actually inspired me to do something. I'm really stupid for doing this, but I'm going to be fan casting myself and with some input from Jesse. And this is going to be a video at some point. I don't know when. It depends on when I finish it. This is going to be a fan casting of every character from the Mortal Kombat universe. Now, I'm not counting Mortal Kombat vs. DC universe, as that was kind of its own game, and it was kind of, it's not exactly in the Mortal Kombat. Well, I guess it kind of is in the Mortal Kombat Injustice canon, but it's kind of not at the same time. It's a weird situation. I'm also not going to be doing DLC characters. I'm mostly just going to try to focus on the people that were actually in the game, Raiden, Sonya Blade, that sort of stuff. Mostly with WWE superstars and some actors to fill in spots where I can't really find a superstar that really fits the role very well. So yeah, look forward to that within the next few months. I don't know when it's going to come out because there's like 73 plus characters, something like that. It's going to take a while. Alright, on to the next match, the no disqualification match between Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. I predicted Corbin. Corbin throws his vest at him at the start, unloads on him with a kendo stick, sets up in the corner, not like flat, but like poking out, so like if Braun ran into it, it'd kind of be like when Scorpion does the get over here and it goes through a person's face. Strowman reverses and Corbin slides under. Strowman breaks it, does his weird circle shoulder tackle thing. Corbin throws an office chair at him, much like what Braun did a few years ago to Roman Reigns. Strowman gets sent in the steel steps, and Corbin starts attacking with the steps. Here's what I'm going to say right now. Braun's an idiot, because he's like, I don't need a candlestick to whip her ass, and broke it. I'm like, dude, it's a no disqualification match. Use the fucking weapons to your advantage, you moron. Sorry. Corbin in control, mocking Strowman's taunts. Strowman starts taking control, grabs out a table, sets up in the corner. Corbin thumbs the eye to get away from the power slam, starts taking control, but gets caught by the throat, gets power slammed through it. Then Drew McIntyre's music hit. Exactly what I predicted, that Drew and Bobby were going to come out. It was kind of obvious when they fucking made it a no disqualification match that some shenanigans were going to happen and Drew and Bobby were going to come save Corbin's ass. Drew McIntyre comes out with a chair. He's walking towards the ring and Braun's facing him. He's like all ready for it. And then sneaky little Bobby behind him comes in with a chair. Whack! Hits him with a chair, which is kind of why Lashley didn't do a whole lot in the match with Finn Balor. They start attacking him with the chairs. Strowman fights back a bit, kind of getting some momentum in. Spear by Lashley. Lashley and McIntyre slide stairs in, set them by each other. Corbin saves Lashley and McIntyre from being chokeslammed. They grab out two tables. Claymore kick. They set the tables up, stacking them. They bring them to the steps, and they set up a triple powerbomb and powerbomb through the tables a la the Shield. Corbin wins. 3-3 on predictions, 10 out of 10. This was a much better match than I thought it was going to be. 1, I'm not a huge Braun fan, so watching me his ass kicked by those three was awesome. 2, this sets up for Strowman and McIntyre at Mania, which I'm really excited for. As long as McIntyre comes out of that feud with the victory. He better come out of that feud with the victory because McIntyre deserves it. Braun Strowman, I'll put it this way. Braun Strowman, I feel like very much didn't live up to the hype that WWE kind of hoped he would. A lot of people love Braun Strowman. I don't personally know why. Honestly, I hate him. He's terrible on the mic. His taunts are terrible. His gimmick is terrible. And he's not very good in the ring. So I don't really know why a huge amount of people really like Braun. However, I think Drew McIntyre should come out of that the victor, so it can set up for a Universal Championship shot for him in the future. And finally, the main event of the match, the first time since 2000 2016 on a co-branded pay-per-view that the WWE Championship is main eventing the show, and yes, I mean that. First time since 2016 on a co-branded. So Raw and SmackDown are both on the pay-per-view. It's the first time the WWE Championship has main evented, a WWE Championship match has main evented a pay-per-view. You know how sad that is? For the fact that the champion on the Raw side barely shows up. Obviously, the competitors in this are the champion, Daniel Bryan, and the challengers, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. I predicted Daniel Bryan with the bonus prediction that Kofi is in the final two. Miz and Shane have a backstage segment, and Shane's being checked on. Miz kind of loses it, flips something, because he's really upset. He's like, Shane, I'm sorry, I should have done better, and he kind of loses his mind a little bit. So that's setting up for what I can only assume is going to be a Mania match with those two, which is really good, but it also means Miz versus Bryan is no longer on the cards, which I don't really mind, because it's probably going to set up for Bryan versus Kofi, which I think is going to be really cool. If that's the way they set it up, that's the way they set it up. I don't know, to be honest. That's what I'd really like, but yeah, it seems like Miz and Bryan has been scrapped completely. I'm a little bit upset by that because I was really looking forward to that match, but what are you going to do? Lacey Evans comes out, walks down the ramp, walks back up, and then leaves. Weird flex, but okay. I don't know why that happened. It was odd, but okay. Kofi's in a pod. Orton, as we know, is coming out at number 6 after the gauntlet match on SmackDown. Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles are also in pods. Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe will be starting the match. Lots of hard hits from Joe and Bryan. Entrant number 3 is Kofi. They had a lot of chops between Samoa Joe and Daniel. Frog splash to Joe's back. 2 count. Knee to the back of Kofi's neck by Daniel. Both of those with sets up on the ropes, much like Buddy Murphy earlier in the day, where he was kind of just hanging over the ropes. Daniel and Kofi up top on a pod fighting after Daniel kind of ran away. Kofi diving down from the sidewall onto Daniel and Joe. The Marathon Man is back, motherfuckers. Entrant number 4 is AJ Styles, and number 5 is going to be Jeff Hardy, with 6 being Orton. Kofi and Daniel brought down with DDTs from AJ at the same time, one being a reverse DDT, the other being a regular one. Kofi and Daniel, just about the same line. Phenomenal forearm to the back of Daniel's neck on the side of the cage, which was a really cool moment. So Daniel was climbing the cage trying to escape again. AJ went in. Phenomenal forearm right to the back of the neck. It was really cool. Styles Clash gets reversed. Neckbreaker, 2 count. Joe taken to AJ and then Kofi. Kofi reverses the Coquina, do a roll-up much like he did during the gauntlet match. Samoa Joe relocks it in. Cutter by Kofi. Phenomenal forearm. Samoa Joe is the first one eliminated. I expected him to do what Baron Corbin did in 2016, where he just kind of lost it on the entire match. But he didn't. He just walked out. Hardy comes out, starts taking to everyone. Poetry in motion with Kofi to go after Daniel. Paley kick out of a reverse twist of fate. Hardy gets thrown on the top of a pod. Daniel throwing Kofi into the side of the chamber. AJ gets kicked down by Hardy. Daniel uses the chamber wall to attack Kofi's arm. Swanton bomb from the top of the pod to AJ's neck. So AJ was like hanging over the turnbuckle, and Hardy did that. It was awesome. Running knee to Hardy. Daniel covers, 3 count. Jeff is gone. Corner yes kicks to AJ, who's stuck in a Tree of Woe situation. He taunts Randy. Drop kick, places Kofi up there with him. Superplex to Kofi gets set up. Styles German suplexes while still in the Tree of Woe. Realize this. German suplexes Daniel as Daniel superplexes Kofi. It was amazing. Orton comes out. Bryan gets taken down. He attacks Styles in the Tree of Woe. Takes down Kofi. Kofi gets thrown into AJ's midsection. RKO gets reversed into a backside for a 2 count. Drop kick by Kofi, a backbreaker by AJ onto Kofi, a phenomenal forearm gets reversed into an RKO off the ropes, and AJ is gone. It was a really cool one, but it was really weird too, because it wasn't like one of the fast-paced ones. It wasn't like, oh, AJ went for it and then he gets caught. No, it was AJ gets up on the ropes and then Orton comes through, and it's the slow motion one. I've never really been a fan of the slow-mo ones. They look weird to me, where it's a slow, I'm like, I don't know. The RKO for me is a very fast-paced, out-of-nowhere move, and just the slow nature of that one was really weird, I guess. Kingston rolls him up for a 2 count. Trouble in Paradise gets avoided. Draping DDT from the top turnbuckle. Power slam on Bryan as he sets up for the RKO. Trouble in Paradise. Orton is gone. The final 2 with bonus predictions correct. Kofi and Danielson and Kofefefe. Back and forth strikes. Taunting for more kicks. Trouble in Paradise gets avoided. Drop kick to the legs. Yes kicks. Last one gets avoided. SOS for a 2 count. Kofi with a stomp and another 2 count. And oh, it's so close. Daniel rolls away to avoid the trouble in paradise. Kofi slams him into the chamber wall repeatedly. Kofi gets thrown in the pod and he bounces off of it. Running knee for a 2 count. Holy shit, this match was insane at the end. Stomping on Kofi's face. Trouble in paradise after an avoided running knee for a 2 count. A roll from Bryan for another 2 count. The belt lock in a very weird way. It looked really awkward the way he had it in. Kofi slams Daniel in the chamber walls more. Kofi being slammed in the chamber walls now after Daniel reverses it. Kofi misses a splash from the top of the pod. Daniel sets up. Running knee. Daniel Bryan retains. 4-3 on predictions. 30 out of 10. That was the best match I've seen in a long time. The fans were gutted. Like, it showed crowd members and they just looked devastated. And I gotta say, I had Daniel Bryan predicted, and I was still devastated. And this, man, this match was insane. The New Day come out and check on him. Fans start chanting, "Thank you, Kofi." He goes up to the top of the ramp, and the show closes with the New Day standing on the ramp together. Honestly, I really hope he gets his Mania moment. He deserves it. All in all, the pay-per-view was pretty good. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. The Raw Women's Championship match, the Intercontinental Championship match, and the Tag Team Championship match for the men's kind of drawed it back a little bit, but it was saved by the men's chamber match and the women's chamber match, which were really good. This definitely seems like they're setting up for Kofi to be the challenger at Mania, and if that's the case, that's the case. I'm not going to be mad. Either way, Daniel retaining or Kofi winning at Mania, I'm for it. Kofi has been with this company for 11 years, and he's fantastic. He's an amazing wrestler. He's amazing on the mic. He deserves it. I'm hoping this is much like Daniel Bryan's run when he was kind of going for the championship where he was getting screwed over by the Authority. I really hope that at Mania we get to see the New Day with that odd belt. I don't know what they're going to do with it. It's probably going to be changed to something to represent the New Day, probably really colorful, like Naomi's Women's Championship. But I'm really hoping we get to see at the end of Mania, well, maybe not the end of Mania because we all know it's not going to be the main event, but at the end of their match, we can see Kofi go up the ramp, New Day are by his side, and he's got that championship around his waist. I really hope that's what we get to see at Mania. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought about the pay-per-view down in the comments below. I will see you all in the next video. Stay golden. Peace.